The second track in is Paul Simon's Boy in the Bubble. It's again one of my favorites. The Graceland album, which was a very big album for lots of people, had this joy, exuberance of the South African music. But what many people didn't notice, and I didn't at first either really, was what an extraordinary lyric this is. I think it's one of the best rock lyrics, pop lyrics written in the last 20 years. But it's quite dark and troubled, and stripped back in the way we've done it. I think you hear the words in a different way, and I got a nice email this week from Paul saying much the same thing. Initially, when I first talked to John about this song and the album in general, I'd asked for very emotional, sparse arrangements, generally. Obviously, we would open it up and let things hang out at certain places, but I really wanted for the songs and the words to speak. And so this one particularly is such an empty arrangement, and I think so much stronger as a result. At a witness benefit, Paul Simon had agreed to come and play, and he actually suggested that he'd like to perform Biko at that without being requested. And so when this project came up, that seemed an obvious choice of song from my material. And Paul is obviously, one of the major American songwriters and has a huge catalog of wonderful material and great melodies, musicality, and stunning words. More often than not, when I was trying to go through the catalog, there were lots of things that were potential candidates. But this stuck out particularly, I think, because of the lyric. But I had looked at Diamonds in the Soles of Her Shoes, and from his latest album, were Hearts and Bones and Father and Daughter were other candidates. Father and Daughter being so quite light, but emotive and personal. Boy in the Bubble was where we ended up, and I'm very pleased with the way it's turned out.
It was a dry wind, and it swept across the desert, and it curled into the circle of birth, and the dead sand falling on the children, the mothers and the fathers, and the automatic earth. These are the days of miracle and wonder. This is the long distance call. The way the camera follows us in slow-mo, the way we look to a song, the way we look to a distant constellation that's dying in a corner of the sky. These are the days of miracle and wonder. Don't cry.